Welcome to In the Know, an executive series that spotlights industry leaders to talk about insights in motion, ideas that lead to impact, and ultimately driven to keep you in the know. I'm joined today by Evanne from Horizon. Welcome, Evanne.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So let's kick it off. You want to share a little bit about yourself and your role?
My name's Evanne Abneri. I work at Horizon Media. I architect programmatic partnerships and product development within our enterprise partnership team.
Amazing. That's no small feat.
No.
What is one way that you are finding a competitive edge?
Well, where we're looking for a competitive edge is where our partners who are differentiated, where they're bringing something unique to the table, ideally exclusive, but where they have an open architecture where we can work with them to co-build something together.
You know, differentiation, it's so important because if you're saying the same thing, doing everything what everybody else is doing, you're just going to become a commodity. What is one way that you're differentiating?
One way that we're doing that is with our Blue product. We're looking at our supply specifically within Programmatic, and how we're looking at that is we're looking at the signals within the bid stream to understand how we can custom curate different solutions for our clients that are more related to outcomes than vanity media metrics. So we're working with different partners in the space to get log level data to make custom bidding algorithms that we can leverage unique data sets to then put that within our DSPs and drive better outcomes for our client campaigns.
Yeah, ultimately, outcomes are king. You know, you can do all the work, but if you're not showing how what the impact is, what's all the work for? And obviously, being client centric is so key, especially for agencies like Horizon. What is one example that you're putting that method for a client?
A great way we're doing that is with you guys with InMarket. We worked with a healthcare specific client and we looked at what they think they needed, and that was a custom taxonomy. So we partnered together to do the work proactively of putting that taxonomy into their unique DSP that they were using. So that way all of the segments that they could need were ready for when they do need it.
That's amazing. And I mean, it's very intuitive too. If you think about it just from a consumer perspective, when you think about relevancy, but also from a brand's perspective, an agency's perspective, you want to be able to unlock an insight that you're not quite that you think you have a persona, but what's interesting is kind of what else that persona that consumer is also doing that you may not think of, which is the beauty of those custom taxonomies, right?
Totally. And I think that the insights that we're able to find when we work with different partners, we're able to unlock not just measurement, but also when we dig into the audience and not look at them as just a specific demographic, but understanding a user in its full capacity of not just one plucked out data point, but who is that person throughout their entire day, throughout their entire week and month and year and the journey that they're on, and how we can reach them in organic and native ways that feel not intrusive, but just feel like a part of what they're doing every day that is seamless.
And ultimately benefit driven, right? If a consumer sees an ad or a product that they think is going to benefit their everyday, they're more likely to lean in and be engaged. So therefore drive an outcome for the brand.
Exactly. There has to be a value exchange. I think that people are smart. They understand that advertising is a huge industry. They understand their data is being used, that they're not getting a benefit from. So they want to make sure that where they're finding these advertisements, it's something that makes sense to them. There's a relevancy to them, and there's a value exchange that they're getting something back of, that it sounds seamless and sonic in the way that sonic more so in audio, but in the way that it's natively fitting into what their user experience is in throughout their day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting. So one thing we're asking our leaders when we close out the conversation is share an instant insight. What is one thing that you want leaders to make sure they're not sleeping on, that we need to continue to focus on?
I would say culture is key. There's a lot of work we do at Horizon where we have a huge multicultural team, and they've been so vital to what we do. And they help us understand a user in the complexities of them as a person. So remember that the users and your audience and your target are humans that are complex and layered, and they deserve that type of nuanced thought about who they are.
Yeah. I mean, relevancy is key, right? And understanding who the user is and what their journey is like is absolutely fundamental in order to make sure not only the ad's effective, but also the ad will be effective, the outcome, your business will
The brand
drive.
relevancy and the brand association with them.
Exactly. It's building loyalty, and it's also just helping to really close the loop for that brand to connect with the consumer.
They have
So
to
it
create
makes sense.
community, and they have to understand how that can impact what we're doing digitally and how they can connect all those dots. And culture, I think, is the key to that.
Yeah, and I think one way, uh, AI is obviously being implemented in a lot of things that we're doing when it comes to optimization, and I think AI can actually help us with that. It can also hinder too when you when you automate and create like automated optimizations. You don't want to lose sight of the human layer within
Yes.
everything, and if you program AI to help with that, it can help make your ad that much more effective by not losing sight of the cultural relevance.
Of course, that's why you need people involved with AI tools, but it's also data in, data out. So if you have strong data going in, culture first data going in, you're going to have strong AI systems coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Evan, we could talk about this all day.
We could.
Thank you so much for joining. I
Thank
really
you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
You bet. And thank you all for tuning in.